हेलो। तो आज हम बात करेंगे कॉग्निटिव बिहेवियर थेरेपी फॉर फैमिलीज। हमने जनरल डिस्कस कर लिया है, तो अब हम फैमिलीज के पर्सपेक्टिव से बात करेंगे। सो कॉग्निटिव बिहेवियर थेरेपी फॉर फैमिली इज ब्रीफ, सोल्यूशन फोकस्ड, addresses a wide range of psychological problems। सिर्फ एक नहीं, मल्टीपल प्रॉब्लम्स को एड्रेस कर सकती है, especially around issues of conflict. The main purpose of this therapy is to identify the root cause of the problem and then work on that root cause in order to eliminate the problem forever. The work is focused on helping the family members to think and behave more adaptively, to learn, make better choices in efforts to get needs met, and so that the family environment, main goal is to keep the family environment very stable and peaceful. And in order to achieve that, we do this therapy where we figure out the root cause of the problem, where is the problem stemming from, and then counter that root. Now, how will we do that? So, indication of CBT in family context, eating disorders, child loss and behavior problems in relationships. Almost हर एक issue के लिए we can use CBT. Now, CBT in children. So, the way CBT is done for different age groups is slightly different. The perspective or the way we approach is slightly different. CBT for children with anxiety disorder may be especially effective when family is included in the treatment. So the kids who have anxiety disorder, we try to bring the families in instead of taking the therapy alone. So then it's called family cognitive behavior therapy. It's called SCBT. It's not very famous. We usually focus on CBT only, cognitive behavior therapy. These are subparts of CBT. You can say it like that. Cognitive behavior techniques and family restructuring. It's a combination of both. We'll study what is cognitive behavior techniques and family restructuring soon. So there are basically, when we divide for CBT with children, we divide the entire process in two phases. One is skill training and application and practice. So in during skill training, as the name suggests, children are taught techniques to replace of feared situation, relaxation, self reward. So mind you, it's about anxiety. So the person who's having anxiety, we the first objective is to reduce that anxiety and help the person cope or manage with that anxiety. So, in skill training, we teach the child skills to relax. There are like one of the techniques is five senses, where we ask the child to see one thing, touch two things, taste three things, smell four different things. So similarly, so use all of those senses, and then also maintain the count that okay, one I have to do this, then two things I have to do with other senses, three things with other senses, in order to bring the child back. The focus is basically shifted and mindfulness is developed. It also helps in relaxations. Okay, so this is a basic technique that we use in skill training as one. Uske, then a hierarchy is created. So there are different techniques like systematic desensitization, where a hierarchy is created, and then from what is the most feared and the least feared, and then we move from one least feared. So if, for example, if the child is scared of cockroaches, for a very simple example, so the least scary thing will be to see a cockroach on a mobile phone, and the most will be to hold it in your hand. So and then there'll be multiple pointers in between, so it can be seeing a picture online, then looking at a picture in front of you, then it can be seeing somebody else hold the cockroach and then holding it themselves. So these are the four things in the order of the in the order where um, the first one is the least scary and the last one is the most scary. So we try to do systematic desensitization. We first try to teach them how to relax, and then we ask them to do the least scary one. And when they are able to relax in that the first and easily attempt the first one, then we ask them to move forward and then do the second one. then goes on the third one, so that the most fearful task is gradually achieved, uh, as well as, and relaxation is happening simultaneously. For so look at a picture and then do relaxing techniques, so that the child can associate relaxation with that particular thing. So this is one of the techniques that I've elaborated on. So moving forward, this is all, you can read it on your own time. It's not very necessary to understand it, okay? There's nothing to understand, it's very simple, straightforward. So individual sessions, and then, so it's because it's family therapy, so you do both. You do individual sessions and then you do family sessions, because you have to train the parents as well how to deal with the kids, how to help them. Okay, it's not just because it's a child, we cannot believe that the child will be able to go through this alone, or they might not need any help, because CBT is so powerful. They need help as soon as they get out of therapy. So we have to train parents as well, so that they know how to help. So give choices when children are indecisive, allowing children to struggle and learn by trial and error, labeling and accepting child's emotions, promoting child's acquisition of novel self-help skills. So basically basic pointers are very important while, doing the therapy. So these are the basic technical things. So a typical FCBD session will be like 20 minutes will be with individual, with the child to conduct skill training, and then application. Skill training is basically learning how to relax, and then application of those things to practically do it. Then child and focus skills are reviewed less thoroughly with the child than in child focus CBT. Then 20 minutes goes for the parents, the parent training, and then 10 minutes with both of them. Okay, so first 20 minutes with the child, second 20 minutes with the parent, so that it lose 40 minutes, and then again 10 more minutes with both of them. Okay, so this is how it happens with the child. These are the things that you have to keep in mind while doing it with children. Now we'll do CBT in family functioning. The ability of family to resolve conflict and tension depends on part of their communication skills and beliefs they've held for a long period of time. So in cognitive behavior therapy, as you must know, because I'm assuming that you already have seen some videos about CBT, you know that it's about changing our beliefs, our negative thoughts about ourselves. Okay, so CBT believes that most of our issues stem from our negative thoughts or negative beliefs about ourselves. So in family functioning, you can see use as a template for an individual's life experiences, consistent and compatible. This will not come in exam. This is just for your understanding. So you can read it on your own time. You can let me know if there are any questions. Very simplistic. They won't ask you. In IGNOU exams, they only focus on what exactly is cognitive behavior therapy. And max to max, how it's done with children. So they've given you an example as well. So a family schema is basically you can say a thought pattern, a block of thinking that we have made and established in our head, and we operate in the world using that particular block only. So parents family schema are often decimated and applied in rearing of their children. So they use those schemas that, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. A father should scold the child. This is a schema. Now this is how they'll operate with their children as well. So the main objective is to change that, the family schema is subject to change as major life event occurs during a course of life. Um, it can also evolve, it can change. So the main point is that it is learned and can be unlearned. So if you have a certain belief, you can certainly change it. I'm not going to give into how she thinks I should act. I will do what I want. Okay. So some is this is so for example, a parent says a child believes that I have to behave and do exactly what's being told by my parents, and then again the opposite stance is the alternative view is highlighted. That was just not necessary that you have to follow each and everything. You can talk to them, convince the parents to move in other direction as well. The central goal of CBFT is to facilitate as much change as possible, because the entire concept of therapy evolves around our ability to change, our willingness to change, our commitment to change. It's everything is just change. So we are changing either behavior or the feelings or the thoughts in order to change the overall well-being of the person or the family. Okay. Now intervention consists of series of cognitive and behavioral strategies used in restructuring the basic core beliefs of the family. Very basic, it's been repeated. So CBT is either done with parents or done with individuals or done with children or with families. It's more or less similar. The crux remains the same, but there are a number of things that you have to keep in mind while doing it with children, while doing it with parents, while doing it in a group. It's just that. So only minor changes or minor pointers are there. Rest the entire crux of CBT remains the same essentially. So, in this therapy, there's several aspects of family member actions, including excessive negative interaction, expressive or listening skills used in communication, problem solving skills. So these are the area of focus. So maybe they're not, the family is not able to solve the problem. It can be financial or emotional. So you can work on that. Maybe a person is like that this person doesn't listen to me at all. So you can focus on listening skills during communication. These are the areas where generally they focus on. So intervening in family schemas. So the way to change the schema, they've given you a proper format for that, steps for that. This will not come in exam, but I will certainly explain it. Step 1 is identifying the shared family schemas and highlighting those areas during conflict and dysfunctions. Okay. Then trace the origin of family schemas. Which person pointed it out? Where did it start? Who believed it first? Right? You have to identify that. Okay, where did it first is identify that, oh, this is a problem area. Then where did it originate? Okay, I have to work on parents background, because parents must have picked it up from somewhere, right? This is not just, oh, I suddenly developed it. It goes on in generations. You have to work on that. You have to work on parenting style. Then when you have identified that, oh, this is because of my parents past, then you have to point out, okay, now we need to change because we cannot continue the same patterns again and again. uh, More adaptive functioning harmonious family, this is the objective. then when once you've highlighted that, oh, this is what needs to change, then we have to acknowledge and encourage cooperation in family, so that the entire family moves towards the change, and not just one or two person who are convinced and the others are not on board, right? So have to encourage and bring the family together. Then we have to assess whether the family is, they have the ability to make changes or plan strategies. Make, once the family is convinced and they're ready to change and make, then we can make strategies, then making plans how we'll go about making this change in their core beliefs. Then implementing the change. How can we change? How can I respond differently? What can I say differently? Oh, in a fight, sometimes I just don't fight. I go out and I don't want to interact, but the other person is struggling because of that. Now, what can I do differently in order to support the person? Then enacting new behaviors, that okay, it's decided that this will happen. I will stay in the room. I will try to calm myself down and talk to the person. Then doing that behavior and then repeating them, solidifying the changes, repeating them in order to make it like solid, in order to solidify it so that it stays with us. So in every conflict, so one one or two conflicts, I have to be very mindful and I'll be like, okay, I will go and I'll go and I'll sit. But from the next, I'll go, I'll talk to, I will not leave the room. In 3 or 4 times if I do this, On the fifth time, I'll be automatically sitting in the room and discussing instead of, leaving the room, banging the door, or doing other stuff. So this is about CBT. CBT essentially it's the same, core is the same. Minor changes are said before, minor changes as per the group we are supporting. It's just simple as that. So when you want to study this, just focus on CBT, what CBT is, and then you can focus on family and child. Okay, so this was, I explained family and child, and in the next video we'll do about narrative family therapy.